Hi, it's Layla, and I'm going to talk about crystal energy and uses for crystals, not just for adornment, but for spiritual development. So, a lot of us love crystals, but we don't really use them for their true purpose and highest potential. In ancient civilizations, you see crystals everywhere. You see in Egypt, Kemet, crystals, lapis, stones used extensively because in the Hermetic principles, crystals and stones actually are a form of consciousness. Crystals themselves hold memory, and a lot of our technologies that we use are also attributed to crystals. Without crystals, we wouldn't be able to be listening to this on a computer. We wouldn't have watches. We wouldn't have all these modern things because crystals themselves are very powerful in their ability to create energy and conduct energy. So, using crystal energy. If you're on the path of spiritual development, crystals are an amazing resource to help us purify our energy, amplify energies, track energies, and just generally connect to the earth and the earth grid and energy grid. The appearance of each crystal helps us determine what sort of energies it will conduct and amplify and ultimately transform. So black tourmaline, for example, is used to heighten and transmute negative energies in our auras and also connect us to the earth grid. So that's a really good crystal if you have a lot of self-doubt, negative thought forms, and just a lot of bad energies floating around you or low vibrational energy around you. It helps to amplify those and purify those. Clear quartz is a general amplifier, and it's good for aligning the chakras. Argonite is another very powerful stone to connect you to the earth and ground you and really pull you down into this plane and connect you to the earth energy so you can better manifest things. So all of these crystals, they have different principles, but we can't ignore the fact that we're drawn to some certain times of the year, certain times of the day, or certain times of the month, and others at different times. So we should always go with those emotions. Sometimes we love amethyst, and that's the only thing we want around us. Sometimes we love citrine, and sometimes we like kyanite. It all depends on what we want to connect with, what our energetic bodies wants to connect with. So don't ignore that. There's no one crystal that's better than the other. It's all about what kind of energy you need help with. So once you're drawn to a crystal, normally what you should do is you should try to connect with it, because the crystals don't communicate with us via verbal communication like I'm doing right now. They connect with our energetic body. They connect with our aura. They connect with all the different bodies that we have surrounding us. And if you're not familiar with energetic bodies, I'm going to do more on those, because understanding your energetic body is key to a lot of your spiritual development, and it's key to really interacting with yourself and who you are and fully materializing yourself in this world and connecting to the higher selves in the other dimensions. So the crystals connect with our energetic bodies, and within that, they're able to communicate with us, and they're able to interact with our energy, and they're able to exchange energies. So not all crystals, that's why crystals need to be purified and things like that, because it's an exchange a lot of the times. The only two crystals that don't actually hold negative low vibrational energy are citrine and kyanite, to my knowledge. So if you're new to crystals and you're just getting used to them, you're probably going to want to go with protective energy crystals and things that can help you get rid of all the gunk that you've collected over the years. And you're going to want to go through protective crystals and get anything with like a dark color is good for transmuting and transforming negative energies. So how do you actually connect with the crystal? Now, this is very difficult to verbalize because it's such a sensory thing. It's sort of like when you are connecting with the crystal, you should feel some sort of magnetic pull. You should feel something. Not necessarily like you'd actually were electrocuted, but you should feel something drawn to you. It should draw you in. And then from there, you should spend some time with the crystal. You should touch the crystal. You should try to set intentions with the crystal and see where the crystal's at and see if it can actually help you or how it's meant to help you. Open your heart chakra. Open your heart chakra, open the corresponding chakra to it. Actually visualize doing it. So I like to, for example, if I'm working with a blue stone, I like to like lapis or celestine or something like that, and I want to improve my communication or connect with higher level communication, I actually visualize that chakra and visualize the energy in a blue light sort of transmitting between both of them. It's good sometimes to use pictures to help us direct energies because we can't really manipulate it on the physical plane. We can't do anything with it here. We can't take our hands and try to make a connection with some cord. But there on the mental plane, it can start to build and start to form and corral the energy and manipulate the energy there. And having that visual image helps us identify where it is and how it's moving, so we can actually feel like there's a physical representation of it, some sort. Some people actually see energy. I personally don't, but if you feel like you can see energy moving, that's great. So once you sort of visualize opening your chakra to the crystal, it's good to try to communicate with it, open a dialogue basically, because you're trying to exchange energy with something that has a lot of energy. So you don't want to just be rude and just try to take it and say, okay, whatever. Be respectful in some regard. And from there you can see if it goes well with you, if you see changes. I mean, it's very subtle normally. It's not going to be huge jumps, but over time you'll see changes. It all depends on how open your aura is and how, if you're leaking a lot of your energy. So the crystal could be giving you a lot of good energies, but if you're leaking a lot of energy constantly through traumas that you have and rips in your aura field, then, you'll be getting something. It's sort of like a colander. You'll be getting a lot, but a lot will be lost. So you want to try to make sure that you're getting and maintaining and building. You want to give it etheric structure, basically. You want to build something around you to collect it. You don't want to just, have your energies going everywhere. Just in general. In general, that's a good recommendation. I mean, especially the crystal energy. And at the end of the day, it's about setting intentions. Absorbing crystal energy is not something you force. It happens. It's sort of like when you're drawing or riding a bike, or it's that flow, that free form where you're not making decisions about it. It's just happening, and you've set it in motion, and now the ball is rolling, so to speak. So I hope this was helpful. This is my first sort of introduction to how to working with crystals. I'm going to have a lot more that I want to talk about because it's pretty complex, but I also think that I should cover the chakras and the energy bodies more in depth because that's what the crystals are working with. I mean, if you have the intention and you have the right crystal, you can start doing that, but you also need to know what it is you're trying to accomplish with your energetic bodies and with the crystals. So just try to connect with them, get to know crystals, touch them, love them, admire them. they're amazing. And before you know it, you have an abundance of new energies that will change your life in a lot of ways. So, thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and stay conscious, or stay awesome. Telepathy. Crystals, jewelry, herbs. Reawaken.